Chevy don't know what's about to happen to it. Bye-bye, little Chevy. What are we doing, Dad?
Yeah, we're driving out west.
This seems kind of familiar, don't it?
Yeah.
Like every road trip. Little camera's with us. We make our way down the road. Okay, you gotta really just appreciate how majestically flat Kansas is. Look at that. My place worse was Illinois. Really flat.
Yeah.
Or was it Illinois or was it Iowa? Iowa was pretty bad.
A lot of corn.
A lot of corn. So what we got is we got a dual plug aluminum Hemi heads. We're taking to the machine shop. We got 273 pistons and rods. We got the Hemi crank and 273 crank.
Oh, look at there. Look at there.
What are we looking at? Oh dang, look at that. 3 state troopers, dang. But we got basically the rotating assembly from my Hemi at the machine shop, the pistons and rods. We're taking Mark to crank, and we are bringing in the rotating assembly for the 273. Then we're going to take them these Hemi heads to get them checked out, see what's going to cost to fix them. And while we're there, we're going to check on a very special project that we've been waiting on for 2 years.
That'd be cool.
It'd be pretty cool.
Yeah.
Well, someone left the camera inside the truck, Dad.
Yeah, you missed out on a pretty good show, that's for sure.
Yeah, but you start having fun, and then you don't bring the camera, and then you just realize, I'm having too much fun. I don't want to stop. There goes the advanced engine machine. Oh, Salina, Kansas. Well, I guess we should talk about what happened. So as I was just saying, it was the coolest hour and a half of my life, I guess, so far. Young days. Yeah, camera did. Take a look.
Hello, hello, hello. Yeah.
So, how would you describe it, Dad?
Well, we went to the machine shop.
Well, no shit.
To drop off some parts.
Drop off some Hemi parts, 273 parts.
And Mark decided he'd just go ahead and polish them right there in front of us.
Yeah.
So we could take them home with us.
I thought we were just gonna drop everything off, bullshit with Mark, and leave. No. There's a Hemi crank and Hemi rods and pistons right there. He mic'd all the rods and pistons right there with us, right there. Then he handed me the crankshaft, said, "Here, go clean this." And set me down and had me clean out all the galleries with solvent, and then had me steam clean it. Tried to steam clean it. Steam cleaner didn't get hot enough, but yeah, put me to work, and that was the coolest thing ever. That's a dream job for me, quite honestly. And then he sat there and polished the crank right in front of us on his lathe.
I'd never seen that done before. That's pretty cool.
That was super cool. As it turns out, all of our Hemi stuff, the crank is beautiful, it's perfect. The rods and pistons, one piston's not really so perfect, but they're all great. It's got a little heat in it, but oh, it was super cool.
And then found out they got special rings on the top lands.
Oh, it's true racing parts on that.
Yeah.
BME rods, Ross pistons, got like,
What do you call that? That top ring.
I can't remember, air or something. They're like $300 or $400 piston rings.
Yeah.
They have,
For blown alcohol engine.
yeah. Even though it never was a blown alcohol engine.
That's what he said he uses them on.
Yeah, it was so cool. I wish you guys were there, but just imagine you were there. Just take the words I've told you and just pretend you're in this awesome old school machine shop. Just pretend for me. And don't hate me for not filming. Alright guys, we're back from Salina at the machine shop, and we got good news, bad news, and the fun news. Good news, our crankshaft is in immaculate shape. In fact, Mark polished it right there on the spot in front of us, put me to work, which is kind of weird. Definitely out of my element there. But here's our rods and pistons. Big block Chevy rod journal size. Big old BME aluminum rods. Said they're like brand new. They're perfect Ross pistons with these super fancy, hang on, piston rings. Got a groove in them. Mark said those things are like $300 or $400. So we're gonna be able to put this Hemi together pretty fast, actually. So we're gonna walk over here. I think the plan is, while Mark's working on all of our 273 parts, we're gonna be working on the Hemi. We need to fix some of the issues with the block first, one of which being this ventilated hole right here. We're gonna fix that, and then we'll worry about putting the crankshaft back in the hole. And don't worry, this is not paint. That's whatever that special sealer is you put inside an engine block. But we're gonna do get the crank back in and put the rods in it. We're gonna get new rod bearings. These main bearings are immaculate, and they're probably high dollar too. They've got a bunch of work done to them. I don't think we're gonna mess with these unless we find some issues with them. So we'll be able to work on my 426, which is actually a 451, believe it or not. Pretty neat. Pretty excited. We're gonna get to put my short block together on my Hemi pretty quickly. It's pretty neat. I just wanted to show you, you know, rod and the piston. Let me go grab that crankshaft for you. Oh, one more thing. Mark hooked yourself with more T-handles, because you can never have too many T-handle bolt valve cover bolts, especially when your dad's Hemi robs you of all your chrome ones. What? Oh, the T-handles. Saying how you robbed all mine for your Hemi. But here's our crankshaft, our 3.925 stroker crank from Chroma Shaft in Memphis, Tennessee. Look at those journals. Look at how beautiful those are. Mark just did it. I guess he wanted to. It was cool. It was the coolest thing. I wish I had this little camera with me, because you guys would have probably gotten a kick out of it. But that's pretty much what the plan is. I'll wait for Mark to give us the call that the 505 is going on the dyno. And I will be showing you a picture of the 505. I got good pictures of it. And I'll talk to you more about it here in a sec. But it's going to be very cool. We're going to definitely get that block fixed. Get this crank back in it. Get those rods and pistons put in that block. Then it's going to be put back together the way it's supposed to be. So I'll show you guys when we get more done. I guess I should say the fun news. There's a French fry in this cylinder head. I guess that's the bad news.
More power.
More power. So as you know, one of my dual plug aluminum heads had a repair in it. As it turns out, they welded over where there's piston ring. So pretty much all this work that's been done previously, I think it would save you some work. It has to be undone and redone and done again and redid and done not. And they ain't got enough welds, so yeah. Cost effective of repairing these heads to get them to work just ain't gonna be feasible. So we're gonna run our good iron heads more than likely, which I was really hoping to run these just because how cool they are. I don't know yet. You guys let me know if you guys want me to run the aluminum heads or not. We'll see. French fry power. Only the finest for 426 Hemi. So I guess my question is, guys, do we spend the money to fix these heads? Well, regardless if you guys say we should or not, I ain't got the money to fix them. Or do we just go ahead and run those iron heads? The iron heads are probably okay. They're just gonna need a couple parts to make them work again. So that's kind of where we're at on that. Of course, our rods and pistons are just absolutely beautiful. Before we start assembling on the 426, we need to fix a few things. The biggest of which is this. We're gonna fix this. It's got some epoxy in there. We're gonna knock that out. Probably clean that up real good. And just figure something out to seal that up. Then we'll get that crankshaft put back in here once and for all. And I think we'll be ready. You know, we get some new rod bearings because those are shunt, but the main bearings are new. They are like brand spanking new. They got a little bit of stuff from just laying out, but they are perfectly smooth. Very, very low miles. And like I said, I don't think I could afford to replace these main bearings. The parts in this engine are very high dollar. And my other question is, do we run the Mickey Thompson valve covers on the Hemi? Or do we run those chrome ones? And do we run the modified 6-pack intake, or do we run the dual Dominator tunnel ram? So many questions. I need so many answers. I do apologize, guys. Dad and I both got a case of what we like to call the Wazooies, which is we're not motivated to do much. I want to put something out for you as far as this Hemi goes. So I got the piece of epoxy broke out. That didn't take much. So what you see is the problem is this is the part that you could see on the outside because this is where it was bonded. But you look at all that color, that's that coating from inside the block. And that was on the inside. So when they put this epoxy in, they didn't even clean it. Because oil obviously soaked past it, made it very weak. So that was not going to seal. Now we're going to have to go in there, get some good epoxy, heat this area of the block up real good, get all the oil burned out of it, and get that hole fixed. Because we don't want any holes, at least those kind of holes. We can live with the big holes that are underneath those plates, but we can't live with this. It's a pretty good hole right there. So I think we're going to try and fix that. Maybe. Probably not. I don't know. You'll find out here in a second. Alright, so we're going to take this plate off at least. Excuse me as I put on gloves because it's kind of cold. See? Gloves. Bitch mitts, as you may love to call them. So, we're going to take some of these bolts out. So there we are back on the inside of my Hemi. Yeah. Kind of ventilated a little bit. But it ain't going to be no big deal. I'm going to get this plate cleaned up. Maybe make a bigger plate. It's not very thick. Dad says it'll be fine for the pressure the water holds, so we'll probably just go with that. We're going to get this hole here cleaned up and try and get that baby sealed up, because that really bothers me. Once that one's fixed, we can work on getting this crank back in. Thought about welding this, but I don't think we'd ever get anything to really stick right there, even if we brazed it. And with nickel rod, it's so thin, you just make a bigger hole. So we're going to just put some epoxy in there. I mean, there's not a whole lot of oil that's in this area. See my finger? So it ought to be fine. Even if it's got a little weep, we can live with a little weep hole. So let's get this baby going. Okay, so don't mind the air compressor, but what we're getting ready to do, this is really dirty in here. And I know you can't really see it. There we go. So I'm gonna hit it with the air sander, clean that up really good. Come in here, just clean this shit up real nice. Then come with a wire wheel. Get that really clean, then we're gonna heat it up really good. Brake clean it, heat it, brake clean, heat it, just to get all the oil that's soaked into the cast iron right there out. And we're gonna tape it from the back side real good. Lather in the epoxy. and call it a day. Is it the right way to do it? Not really, but this is so thin, you'd break right through it, and it's right next to the cylinder, and just too much risk with trying to weld it. And plus, this engine's only ever gonna be on display and fired up. It's not going in the car, so it'll be fine, trust me. So we got the block out in the sunlight, and that was a major move, trust me. But you can see what's going on inside there. We got her cleaned up. We're gonna take some tape, put it on the back side, and just put some block sealing epoxy down in there. So all it's gotta do is seal in the oil. There ain't no cracks or anything. So we'll get that sealed up, and then we could work on putting the crank in. So we got everything really clean, really heated up. We got our tape in there. Now we're gonna head to the store, get some JB Weld. Ain't that right, Dad? He said he reckons so. So let's get this block patched up. Right there. Yeah, it's kind of thin. We got her all spread around pretty good. We'll take a couple more coats just to make sure it's extra strong and extra good. What do you think, Dad?
I think it'll be all right.
Yeah, we'll play with it some more. Try and get this coat in there nice and good. This is not the proper way to fix a block, but there's not a lot else you can do with that spot there. You want to tell people about your story you just told me about using JB Weld?
Yeah, I guess I could.
There you go.
Head studs stripped.
Talk to the camera. Talk to everybody.
On a D9 Caterpillar engine. And it was leaking water up out around the studs. So me and my mechanic, we pulled everything out, cleaned the holes up real good. Went to town, got 2 or 3 things of JB Weld, smattered around the head studs and shoved them in the hole. And then let it set all weekend. And then came back and put the heads on. And we got 400 foot-pounds of torque on them heads. And it was running until the day I left it. It was still running. So there you are.
So when you say JB Weld won't hold this oil, it'll hold 400 foot-pounds of torque from a torque wrench. It ought to hold about, you know, a little bit of oil pressure.
What'd that package say? Good for,
I don't trust the package.
4,000 pounds of tensile strength or something like that.
Yeah, I bet you if we actually put 4,000 pounds worth of strength on a block of JB Weld, it'd probably come apart. Of course, you know, they're probably using that as a test where they had like a solid block of it.
Yeah.
And not it all weighed around like that. I wouldn't trust JB Weld to actually hold shit together. Like you took 2 blocks of steel and JB welded them together, I bet you they come right fuck. Dick. But we're gonna let that shit set and I'll see you when it's done. Alright guys, let's check on this JB Weld for this Hemi. Well, it's JB Weld. It's still not hard. I blame this weather. Still got a little pliability to it. I think I come out here and I'll just push it down, get it packed in there, get it to bulge out more on the outside, because I'm going to clean that up and put more on the outside. But once this finally cures, I got it sitting out in the sun. Hopefully the sun will help heat it up. We'll sand that down, put another coat on top. Then once that's done, we'll clean it up a little bit around these edges. Then we're going to come around to the back side where our tape is. It just put a real thin layer up on top. That way we don't have any issues. Sorry, I had to burp for some reason. But that's how we're coming along with the Hemi block. This has taken an awfully long time to dry, so I may just go ahead and end this whole road trip to Salina and Hemi repair. You know, you guys kind of will know what's going to happen. It's going to look like JB Weld, and we're not going to do anything else. So this is the end of the video. I apologize you didn't get to see it all the way to the end, but I appreciate you guys for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Thanks for watching. Bye. Whoa, Jed. Hang on. Don't end the video just yet. That's a really crappy way to end the video, especially for these nice folks who sat down to watch your boring video because you forgot to take the camera inside and film the stuff at Mark's. That was the real cool content. But no, you forgot to take the camera in. And now you're talking about ending the video without showing them how it looks afterward? Shame. Shame. Future you is very ashamed of past you. Now I'm going to show you how it looks, because this is getting weird. This is why I don't like staring into the camera, because it's getting kind of weird, man. Anyways, I'll show you what this baby looks like. Get my handy dandy torch out, flashlight, as a European scout. Look at that. It's a great big old glob of JB Weld. Let's get you back further. There you go. It's in there really thick, really heavy, so shouldn't have any issues. Let me try and, you know. Oh yeah, that's much better. That's gonna be perfect. So there you guys go. Now you know it's going to be in there thick and strong, and it ain't gonna move, it ain't gonna break. So now, thank you for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, do all that fun jazz, and I'll see you in the next one, guys. Take care. Bye.